guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. Today we're going to take a look at this bad boy, AGL EZA Metal Cooler. I think that this guy is really quite good. My only real complaint with like this guy and LR Metal Cooler is just the fact that they share the same name, which certainly can make things awkward, right? If we're running the 200% Wicked Bloodline team, which we of course are for the showcase right here, this means we're rocking 3 characters with the name Metal Cooler, right? Which certainly can be a bit of an issue in terms of links. I've already done red zone runs where I've had all 3 Metal Coolers in the same rotation and I've gotten obliterated, right? It is something that can happen. There's really, they should have made this guy link with the LR, either giving the LR a different name, or what really should happen, this character right here should have the different name. This is a giant transforming character. This is the only one of these in the game that does not have a different name, right? Like, it should be Metal Cooler and then, like, Metal Cooler Core in parentheses. That's the mistake. If they just had that with this guy, I really like him. I would think he would work really effectively with LR Metal Cooler. He still can be quite good, this Metal Cooler right here, but he just could have been a lot better if he could link with the LR, right? So let's go ahead and see what this guy is capable of doing. Keep in mind, we do have to receive 5 hits in order to build up his maximum buff right here. Remember that this Metal Cooler does, of course, have a pretty solid link set right here. Auto Regeneration, Nightmare, Thirst for Conquest, Strongest Clan of Space, Big Bad Bosses, Transform, and Fierce Battle. So everything will be able to pretty consistently activate except for Transform. That, of course, is the giant link, essentially, right? You know, like graded characters and stuff like that. I guess the only other issue I'd have with this guy, right, besides the fact that he just can't link up with LR Metal Cooler, is his super attack effect. He does lower enemy attack and defense, which is very helpful, but unfortunately, he only raises defense on his super attack effect. 30% defense, immense damage, and lower enemy attack and defense. No characters should be coming out these days without defense on super attack effect. The bosses, the big time bosses are all doing over 1.5 million damage, right? There's just really no excuse. At least 30% defense on super attack effects is not asking too much. Okay, we dodged it there, okay. Now, I did give my Metal Cooler the full dodge build, right? And, you know, some people could say, well, this guy is truth is a moron. He has to get hit to build up, so why would he give him a full dodge buff? I mean, I have survived against Cell Max with my full dodge build, right? So, I'm actually gonna just go ahead and say, like, I'm comfortable, you know, occasionally, you know, perhaps, at moments, I might, you know, mayhaps dodge an attack where, you know, we could have gotten buffed instead. But I have actually dodged one of these big kill super attacks from one of these big bosses, right? So, I am okay with the gamble, right? To me, you know, building Metal Cooler up will be helpful. I feel like it'll be more common, though, with my Metal Cooler having the full dodge build. More common to survive a big-time super attack that would have killed me than, like, dodging an attack that would have built up, and then if we were built up, we would have lived an attack anyway. I feel like dodging, right, to me is going to be a little bit more effective. Although, certainly, if we have to get hit, right, that can create some minor issues, I would say. All right, so next, this is actually a really good turn right here. This is 6 out of 7. Let's actually do this turn. So this is 6 out of 7 links activated. We have no offensive support right here. The LR Metal Cooler army, they give, what is it, 3 key and 30% defense, I believe, to Artificial Lifeform. Let me just see. Here, can I please click the passive? Damn. Yeah, it's 3 key, 30% defense to Artificial Lifeform. So, this is no offensive support. This actually works pretty well. Well, yeah, because I can't even get the 18 key super with him right here. So, this is no offensive support. 6 out of 7 links activated. We're still at 300k defense. And this is without him having been buffed up at all, right? He has to take 5 hits, and he's taken none. So, this will be kind of him sort of at like a minimum right here. But it'll still be good to see, right? 300k defense just without any of his build-up from his passive shows that he can get to some very high stats, right? Like, we can see this AGL Metal Cooler getting very good stats. He is very easily capable of tanking normal attacks in a lot of these tough red zone stages. Okay, 4.56. Kind of a little bit of a scuffed first run right here. Let's go into a fight where we can build up Cooler quite a bit in turn 1 and sort of see him, you know, once we get a bunch of these buffs sort of activated for him. Alright guys, now we're in another run right here. Let's go ahead and get our boy Metal Cooler built up. We have him next to the Int LR Metal Cooler Army, where of course we'll activate a lot of our good links. The 2 extra links that, I mean, you know, Thirst for Conquest is such a big link. 15% attack and defense. It's such a shame the Metal Cooler Army does not have that link. But we have that, and then Fierce Battle we could get, right, from some strong character. But again, can't link him up with the LR Metal Cooler, which is a real bummer. Okay, so we're at 280k defense right here. Let's go ahead and see as much as we build up. Again, we have to get hit 5 times. Let's go ahead and see how many hits we will actually receive. And again, Metal Cooler is, right, getting attack. Like, he gets 30% attack from his super attack effect. So with the additional supers, we would see a bit of a higher attack stat. And then he does, of course, debuff as well. Okay, so there's my Metal Cooler bobbing and weaving. I mean, hey, he knows the instant transmission, right? Like, you know, like, Goku tells him, like, oh, yeah, I did that. And Cooler is like, oh, you could do that too, huh? All right, like, you know, he does have access to it. All right, so what was that? That was 4 hits right there. So we need 1 more hit to build up Metal Cooler to his full power. Oh, another ability Metal Cooler has. I don't know how impactful this is. Right now, all the toughest stages are not superclass enemies, and for the most part, they're not really like Saiyans and stuff like that, besides Red Zone Broly, which is very tough, and is a Saiyan, of course. But Metal Cooler gets 1 key and a 20% chance to crit if there's a superclass enemy, and then also 1 key and 20% chance to crit if there's a pure Saiyan category enemy. I'm not the biggest fan of that ability. I think as a TUR, giving yourself key is very good, right? Metal Cooler also just gives himself 2 key for at the start of turn for free too, which is really nice, right? Like, that can, I think, actually make quite a big deal. But okay, so this is a good turn. You know, we'll be able to get a lot of our links activated and stuff like that, but we do want to get that last hit in to fully build up his passive. Actually, well, yeah, let's do this. Sure. Yeah, let's get that last hit in. So we're at 558k. See, which is, it's at least decent enough that he can tank normals from all the bosses in the game, except for Cell Max. Like, we could definitely get him to a point where he could tank a normal from Cell Max with, like, the right amount of support or something like that, but it would have to be, like, a heavily wanked situation, or have, like, the, you know, a support memory or something like that. But it's like, he at least can tank normals from all these tough bosses, which is pretty big. And the other thing he does, too, is that he recovers 10% HP at the end of the turn in which an attack was received. So it's like, if we have this guy in the team, the Int LR Metal Cooler is healing at the start of turn, the, you know, physical LR Metal Cooler has several different ways he could heal as well. Okay, so now we're fully built up. We do want to keep in mind next turn, 8 million right there, okay. We do want to keep in mind that next turn, however, our defense will sort of be artificially lowered by what that Vegeta just did right there. But we were able to get his sort of like full buffs up, right? Okay, maybe I'll just skip ahead 2 turns until that defensive debuff wears off. Actually, let me take a look. What is our next turn looking like? I do want to see that attack set right there. Sure. All right, let me skip ahead till next turn. All right, guys, we got a really good rotation right here. So the only thing is, this, in terms of, like, attack, we could get better, right, if we had, like, double attack support. But this will at least be good as a defensive rotation, but we were defensively debuffed before, right? We can have LR Metal Cooler super attack first. This will give a little bit of an attack buff to AGL Cooler. Let's go ahead and see what we get right here. So this is AGL Metal Cooler. We are fully built up. Let's see what damage he gets on this rotation right here. Don't forget, too, so, you know, we get hit at the end of the turn, he'll heal 10%, right? If we're next to, like, another Metal Cooler that he can link up with, we're going to get 5% HP at the start of turn also, right, from the auto regeneration link. So it's like, the amount of healing that you can get in here, and then especially if we have in LR Metal Cooler, and then if we're running the 200% Wicked Bloodline team, what was that, 9.42 right there? Pretty good. But we're able to get a lot of healing coming in. This is with our defense lowered, and it's still at double digits, right? So it's like, this AGL Metal Cooler, like, he can perform, right? Like, he could get some big attack stats. He can get to some impressive defensive stats at the start of turn, too. I really just only have the 2 things I wish were a bit better with him. That would be the ability to link up with LR Metal Cooler, this physical LR Metal Cooler. He really should be able to link up with this character. There's no excuse for that. It's just stupid. It's very stupid. If he could do that, and then if he gave himself 30% defense on super attack effect, I would love it. I think this AGL Metal Cooler, he would be a staple on these teams. He already is. I have found great use out of this AGL Metal Cooler in a lot of these tough red zone stages, right? Because I've been sort of, knocking out runs. I'm doing the, the no iteming every single red zone stage, sweeping with a lot of the 200% teams, and I've been able to get some good abilities out of that with this AGL Metal Cooler. 560 we're at right there. That's with the support just from Int Metal Cooler. And again, 560, but if we're next to another Metal Cooler character he can link up with, we are getting the damage reduction too. That's something that's very important to keep in mind, right? Damage reduction on a link really can be very good, especially when the character's got a huge amount of defense. So let's get this turn, and then we'll also get the next turn, right, where we'll be able to have double support, so we can see a little bit more of what our boy is capable of doing. But let me know what you guys think of this AGL Metal Cooler. I think he's pretty solid. I feel like he works well in like a 5th or 6th unit role on some of these teams, right? If we think about his role on something like the Revived Warrior team or Giant Form or, Revenge, Power Absorption, Crota Body and Mind, he is, a lot of these Metal Coolers, I mean, are a huge buff to teams like that, right? Like, what's it, like, I feel like Revenge. You could take, like, a full Metal Cooler team and go do, like, the Revenge Super Battle Road stage, and, like, we would disintegrate it with, like, little effort or something like that, right? All these Metal Coolers showing up is definitely really, really good. Alright guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this turn right here. So now Metal Cooler's up to basically 700k defense at the start of turn. I mean, this really is where he gets the 30% on his super attack effect, and we're talking about him now potentially being okay against some of these really crazy red zone bosses, even if he would get caught, right? Which could be pretty good. So, I don't know. I mean, he is definitely solid. They really, besides like LR Goku Black and Zamasu, which is like feels like a complete mistake, an accident. They really, I don't know how often EZA characters are meant to completely dominate, right? Like, STR LR Broly was also really powerful on release. But I feel like, when was the last time, like, an EZA TUR is just like, oh my god, like, he's the best unit on the team? It is very, very uncommon. I feel like the last couple of EZAs have been solid. The Ultra Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, I think AGL Metal Cooler, the STR Namek Goku. Like, maybe one thing goes your way, and these characters can be pretty good. I think they're a little bit better than sort of the RNG fest, like Tech VB, STR Rose, AGL Turles, STR Ultimate Gohan. Right, those characters are just like, again, like slot machines, basically. Like, sometimes they're super crazy, and other times they're just ass, right? That's how those characters look. But let me know what you guys think of the AGL Metal Cooler on a 200% leader skill here. But again, I think he's actually pretty solid. I think you can utilize this Metal Cooler pretty effectively in a lot of different stages, right? Especially running him on the LR Metal Cooler team or running him on movie bosses or something like that. He is a nice addition to the team with his EZA. So let me know what you guys think of AGL Metal Cooler. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.